We are back with our favorite wholesaler, realtor, and Alex Hormozy fan, Patrick here, who just ripped a $10,000 assignment fee on his second wholesale deal in his second week?
Yeah.
Insane. This man is at $40,000 in 2 weeks. Would you even consider this work, or has this just been fun?
It's been a blast for me. Being on the other side of a wholesale deal, being the one who's providing the deals, having these investors say, "Oh man, great deal. I want it. It's been awesome."
Man, okay. So if you haven't seen the first video, guys, go check it out. I'll link it up there. That's how he got his first deal. And now I want to talk about how you got your second deal. So what gave you the inspiration to go get a deal from a realtor? Was this a pocket listing, or what is this?
It was. So yeah, I get home at nighttime and I like to scroll on Facebook, get some decompression in, and I'm scrolling and man, Max is on fire. Max is killing it. And, he just got his largest assignment fee from a realtor. And, I'm a member of his Discord. So I go and I'm looking through the Discord and he's telling us, hey, contact these realtors and say, hey, if you're listing ugly houses, bring them to me. And, we're a cash buyer. We'll take care of your seller's closing costs, commissions, so on and so forth. And I get to thinking, oh man, I'm leaving a lot of money in the table by not talking to people who I talk to every single day, literally every single day. And so our firm has meetings every Wednesday. We get together, we talk about the market, we talk about who's got what listing, talk about some challenges that maybe each one of us are overcoming, maybe try to help each other out. Last Wednesday, we get together and I say, hey guys, if you get a listing on a house that needs some work, let me know and you will get paid more than what you'll get paid if you list the property, please. So very next day, I'm working at a flip that we have going on and I get a call from an agent in our office, Dave, and Dave says, hey brother, I was thinking about listing this property, but I was, thinking about what you said at the meeting the other day and I want you to come take a look at this property. Fantastic. That sounds good. When should we meet out there? Well, I got a meeting scheduled at 4:00 today. I'll be there. Go out, show up, meet the homeowner, and the homeowner's kids are actually the tenants in the property. So I got to meet the whole family really. And that's a good moment to capitalize and really build rapport. I got to meet the kids, the grandkids. I got kids of my own. So it was a nice relationship build moment. We all, shared a moment. And so I'm just taking a walk through. I actually got to take pictures this time. So as I'm walking through, I'm just already trying to calculate what these renovation costs are going to be. I'm trying to fill out the seller, see where they're at. Hey, why wouldn't you want to list this with an agent? I just don't think there's going to be any retail buyers who want this. Okay. Do you have an idea of what you're looking to get for this? I have to sell with somebody else. So now I'm thinking, there's two parties, two decision makers in this. Anyways, walking through, trying to calculate rehab costs while I'm looking at it, trying to figure out what they're going to do with the daughter or, that's living in the property and get an idea of the big picture. And so we're sitting there and the homeowner looks over at me and she says, so what are you thinking as far as an offer price goes? And I just simply explain to her the math behind how we buy properties. And I tell her, hey, we're buying these at 70 to 75% of the after repair value, what we're going to get after we fix it up. I even pull up Zillow and say, hey, take a look here. This one's for sale right now. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom like this. This one's for sale. And I'm explaining to her, how we run numbers and what we buy at. And I'm explaining to her, you got a lot of soffit damage and fascia damage. You need a new roof. The HVAC is a 2002. The water heater is an 06. We're going to have to replace all those. You got some leaking damage in the bathroom. Your washer dryer hookup is in the kitchen. We're going to have to reroute that to make it attractive. Kitchen reno costs this. And I'm just explaining everything to her. And I said, these aren't hard numbers, but I'm thinking probably around 70 grand. I'm looking for a reaction. And she just kind of nods. She says, okay, I'll talk to my sister about it. And I gave her my contact information. Hey, let me know if you need anything else from me, if you have any questions. If you want to speak to my contractor about what renovation costs are going to be, you're more than welcome to. Also pass my number along to the tenant, the daughter, and said, hey, if we end up buying this, I'm more than happy to help you find another rental to get into or put you in touch with maybe a few property management companies so that you can find somewhere to go. And go home, give Dave a call, the other agent that brought the deal to me, and said, hey, this is how this is going to work, because Dave doesn't know anything about wholesaling. Most realtors don't. And the realtors who say they do, most of them at least, don't really know, or they have a false perception of what wholesaling is. So I explained to him how it's going to go down, what happens. Hey, if I end up getting this assignment fee, I'll split it half and half with you. It'll still be more than what you make if you were going to list it. And also you're going to save yourself the headache of listing this, having it sit on the market forever, get a whole bunch of lowball offers that are probably going to be right around where I offered, if not lower. And he's, just getting him on board, making sure that all parties know what's going on. And so get back home next day, shoot him a text. I kind of took initiative and went and looked at a few rentals and sent them to the daughter. Was saying, hey, I was looking at these. I thought, these might interest you if I end up moving forward with your mother. And the mother ended up getting back with me and say, hey, 70 is lower than what we were expecting to get. Is there any way you can do 80? And so I look at my comps again, and it's looking like the ARV is going to be right around 168 to 172. And, I wasn't going to haggle with her. I said, hey, we can do 80. We can do 80 just because I wanted to get the deal locked up, make the sellers happy. They're getting more than they initially expected. And so we got it locked up at 80. We're dispoing at 90. It's not going to be a double closing because there's not, a massive spread that's going to be offensive to anybody. So it's just going to be an assignment. And so, yeah, locked up at 80, dispo at 90.
Easy 10K. Okay.
Yep.
So many things I want to talk about there. This was a pocket listing. You were inspired by something you saw on Facebook. You reached out to somebody who was in your network. That money was just hanging there and you just never saw it. It was just there available. Literally. There's so many things I want to talk about. But first, again, let's talk about the numbers. So the ARV, the after repair value, was 170. That's what this home would be worth after you fixed it up, after you made it HGTV 2024 beautiful, right? So what do we think the repairs were on this thing? 30, 40, like what do you think the repairs were?
Yeah. So another thing to keep in mind is, some investors are putting contractors in place, and obviously they're paying a lot more because you have cost of labor, cost of materials, so on and so forth. And then some investors are doing the rehab themselves. Mm-hmm. And so they're saving a lot of money by doing so. And actually, one of the comps in the area was a flip by a local investor that I know, right? And so yeah. And so I had to rehab at around 40 grand. Okay. Because the bones were good and they had actually just laid new LVP and put new carpet in. So that's one less expense. There's probably going to be some painting, but lay down some sheets and all is good. But the rehab didn't end up being as extensive as I originally thought it was going to be. But I reached out to this cash buyer and he does rehabs himself. So he's already saving a ton of money right there. Whereas a contractor is going to charge him 40, he's going to get it done for 20, 25 maybe.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if the numbers, just so you know how you use the numbers, if you have $170,000 ARV, you want to offer usually 70% of that wants to be about your offer. So 70% of 170,000 is 120, and then you subtract repairs. So if your repairs are 30, then it's like, hey, I'm going to buy this deal at 90. And how much did you buy it at?
80.
All right. Well, there you go. So you got an incredible deal. And then you can usually sell them for like 75, 78, maybe 80 if it's a really good neighborhood. I have a gut feeling that this maybe wasn't the best neighborhood just off of the numbers I'm seeing. What is this? Is this an average neighborhood? Not that great neighborhood?
Lower B.
Yeah, lower B, right? So, but yeah, that just gives you an idea. So for your first offer, always say, hey, if I fix up this house and made it HGTV 2024 beautiful, I could get X ARV. Then offer usually 70% of that. Depends on your location. The more you do this, the better you'll get at it. Then subtract repairs. That's your offer. It's not a complicated game. And what's also not complicated is pocket listings. A pocket listing is a deal you get from a realtor before they list it on MLS. They're beautiful. We love them. My company just I think we made a $56,000 assignment fee and a $75,000 assignment fee from a pocket listing. Those aren't going to happen all the time, but the 10K pops, they happen all the time. And all you have to do, and it's one word, the one word is friendship. Just having a friendship with the realtor and them sending the deals before they put them on MLS. So you're a realtor. How'd you get this pocket listing? You just spoke to other realtors at your brokerage?
Yep. Let them know, hey, if you list, you'll make this much. If you bring it to me, you'll make this much. At the end of the day, money talks, and realtors have to make a living. With these another thing to consider is with these wholesale or assignment fees, if you're assigning it, there's no split with the broker in charge or the broker. And so I say, hey, if you were to list this, you're making $2,000, and then maybe you'll get 50 to 60% of that after you pay your split to your broker. You're netting $5,000 if you bring it to me. I'm not
I've
taking this.
never thought of that. Yeah, you're right. Maybe the brokers hate you, but I understand how they guys so if you guys don't know how realtors work, every real places real estate brokerage is a little bit different. When I was looking at some real estate brokerages to hang out at, some of them gave you 40% of what you brought in and they kept 60%. They're
Crazy,
ridiculous, right? And then
crazy.
there's all these added fees. I ended up just going to a super cool brokerage. Now I own my own, right? I'm a part owner in a different brokerage. But when I worked there, it was just a $500 flat fee. But if you're if you're selling deals that are 80K, that's like 50% of your commission. So some places they're taking a huge chunk. So by doing what Patrick is doing, the realtors gets so much more money. They get more money on the assignment fee, and they don't have to pay the brokerage commission. Wow, I never thought about that.
That's
Okay.
what made him most excited. He was like, "Oh, what? How do I pay Nick, our broker in charge?"
Yeah, yeah, and I
No.
guess that's if you JV with them. I get different ways of paying them, and it's if you pay them as a realtor, then the broker would get involved. If you just
Right.
paid them as a JVer, then the broker doesn't even have to get involved. So if you're worried about like, oh, I don't want to cut out the broker, I'm going to go meet with the broker. I'm going to talk about that in another video, or maybe now, I don't know. Just like if you guys want to get these deals, not only call realtors, but set up appointment at brokerages and go meet these people in person. And be like, hey, I have a fund, or hey, I'm a real estate investor. Or, hey, you know what? I help realtors wholesale properties. Whatever your pitch is, then you can even meet with the brokers and be like, yeah, I'm going to pay all your realtors through escrow as a realtor, so the broker could still get their payment. Different ways of
Right.
doing it. That's the beauty of real estate. You can do things any way. But the most important thing is to just get out there and get these pocket listings. Wow, that is incredible. Now, how did you go ahead and find the buyer? Who's the buyer for this deal?
So I was going to do the same thing, Facebook, if you watched the last episode. But this one, I was running comps and I see one of the comps and I see who the seller is. And I said, oh, I recognize that name. I recognize that LLC. That's redacted. I know who that is. And so I reached out to him and said, hey, was that deal you did over on XYZ Street? Was that a good one? Yeah, it was. It was a fantastic one. Do you want one just like it? I would love one just like it. Here's a contract. So yeah, he'd already done a deal in the neighborhood, and the flip was a comp for this property. And so I said, if you want one identical to it, if it's the same numbers, why wouldn't you?
Easy. The easiest buyers to get, guys, are buyers who already flipped the property next door to yours. What you do is you go on, the tax records, you'll see the LLC or the individual name of the person who flipped the property, and then you can skip trace that name. Or if you're like Patrick and you already know who they are, just call or text them. I mean, what better buyer? What better buyer? It's just so easy. And I love that. You didn't have to go on Facebook. You didn't have to go on Investors Lift. You could just do it all yourself in minutes.
Absolutely.
$10,000. I mean, how many combined hours did this entire process take? 5, 10 hours? I don't know.
3, maybe.
3? Okay, so you're making $3,300 an hour.
Yeah, right. So now I'm trying to take some more initiative and really help this family.
Yeah.
And help the daughter. So it's going to take more time, but it's
Okay, and then for let's say for the select few haters out there, because every time people watch a video, you always got to get a few haters. I think everyone's super supportive of what's going on. It's like, this is insane. I want to do this. But there's gonna be some people like, hey, how is this fair to the seller? You're making $10,000 off of the seller. How would you answer that? What would the process be if they ended up listing the house instead of you wholesaling it? Would they have gotten more money? Would it have been a faster process? I mean, what would you say to those people?
I think that's subjective. I think you're going to have different answers from different people. What I'm going to say is we're saving them time and headache. I'm working with the daughter to help them find another rental. We're taking care of their closing costs and their realtor fee. So if they listed it, maybe they listed it for 90 and still got close to 80 for it. Maybe there's no telling how it could have gone, but what we see in our market is regardless of lift price, if it's a fix and flip and it needs work, other investors are still coming in under asking. That's just the nature of the beast. They want to, even if the deal looks good, they want a better deal. Right. And that's how I get a lot of my investors deals is when that happens, we'll give them asking. I'm like, hey, these other investors are going to come in and lowball. If we just give them asking, we'll most likely get it because the numbers still work. So to anybody who hates on the idea of wholesaling, the sellers are still happy. The sellers are happy to work with us. We're building a relationship. They're getting their money and they're not having to wait months sitting on the market, getting lowball after lowball until they come back to reality. right? Or come down to reality and say, hey, okay, this is only worth around 70 to 80, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, and this is a generalization, but most realtors are for retail. They're for people looking to buy and sell a house. Most wholesalers are for investors, right? So if you're a real estate agent out there and you're struggling to sell properties that are more investor grade, maybe you reach out to a wholesaler. Maybe you don't get so mad when these wholesalers reach out to you because they're actually doing you a service. They're helping you move properties. You know, we're the middleman. We're the flow of the water, allowing the real estate market to keep on, buying and selling houses. We keep things going.
It's
And
good for the
it
industry.
is
It's
good for
free.
the industry. Exactly. If done properly, you disclose, you're honest. I mean, did you disclose what you were going to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Were you honest the whole time?
I said it. I said I have a partner who's going to come in and buy this property.
Okay. Yeah, you disclose, you're honest. Guys, that's the most important thing. And, just to piggyback off of Patrick's point there, you list a property. Sure, maybe you'll end up getting more money. The key word is maybe, but then that also takes months of your time. It's not certain. And then a lot of people don't want to have people in and out of their home every single day, have scheduled appointments, cleaning up after random people. A lot of people are private about their stuff inside their home. A lot of these homes are not safe for people to come in. They could be hoarder houses. They could just be, really just messed up houses. And, a lot of these properties are just not fit to list on the market. That's what people just don't understand. And it makes more sense in every single way just to be selling them off market in the form of a pocket listing or a wholesale.
Yeah, this tenant had big scary pit bull and two little kids. She does
Yeah.
not want people coming in and out constantly, having to vacate the home or stand there awkwardly while strangers come to their house. It's a lot more convenient this way. It's convenience, you know.
The convenience is worth the potential loss of $4,000, and that's just a maybe. So yeah, that's why we do what we do. And at the end of the day, if the seller wanted 90 and you can give her 90, and they can say, hey, 14-day close, here's $5,000 EMD, non-refundable. Like,
Yep.
there's a lot of confidence that we have going into these deals. But that is insane. Pocket listings. That's what I want to take away from this. Pocket listings, but more so than just calling a realtor, which we do a lot of. We cold call realtors all the time. That person to person experience. I mean, the person, you're friends with them. But for everybody else out there, or maybe for you, Patrick, once you've saturated your brokerage, you're just one brokerage. I mean, how many realtors do you have at your brokerage?
We have 14.
14. Okay, so once you go through your 14, do you think maybe you're going to go out and start networking with other realtors and telling them that to send you deals and wholesale deals and
Oh,
stuff?
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And really, we don't get a lot of ugly listings in the area. What I will say is there's typically in each of these markets, somehow there's this group of agents who get the same ugly listings.
Yes.
I don't know how,
yes.
But that's the case. I have an agent in mind right now who just is always posting the $220,000 dumps,
Yeah.
right?
That's the key, guys. Find every agent has their own specialty. Some agents are really good at certain retail properties. Some just do condos. Some do their things. Find that agent who does ugly homes. Go take them out to lunch. Go build a real, genuine friendship with them, and then just get their pocket listings. So much money to be made. So much money to be made. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up on this one. Do you have any final words of wisdom for the people out there, Patrick?
Yeah, when you're reaching out to these agents, let them know that you're serious. Let them know, hey, I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to provide a service, and I'm here to make you money. And we can make this relationship go a long way, because that's one thing. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm just speaking for agents in general, like a kind of generalized. Agents don't like wasting time. And if you let them know up front, hey, I'm serious. We're gonna make some deals happen. This is what I need from you, and this is what I can do for you. I think you're going to be set.
I couldn't agree more, guys. Patrick's information is going to be down in the description below. If you're a realtor out in the North Carolina markets, if you're a wholesaler in the North Carolina market struggling to get deals, if you're a dispo shop out there looking for deals, if you're anything in the real estate industry, just hit up Patrick. I mean, Patrick is absolutely killing it. He's on his way to easily pass 6 figures wholesaling this year. I mean, what, 40K in 2 weeks? I think the trajectory is pretty high. So if he continues like this, I mean, he's going to be the star of North Carolina. We just love to see it. All right, awesome, guys. Well, hey, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe. Bye, y'all.